story myself, so you can laugh at me, you can say it's a terrible story, but that's okay with me. So, it was a dark and scary night. And I was working in my laboratory. And there was thunder. There was lightning crashing. And my toe hurt. My toe hurt. Do you know why my toe hurt? I was building something and I dropped a hammer on my toe. Oh, yeah, I know. It's really swollen even today because I was working on this last night. But I was building the Functionometer 2000. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool, right? Here it is. It looks pretty high-tech, huh? So, here it is, but it's not exactly working yet. So I was thinking of using spark plugs to shock it to life. Kind of like Frankenstein. This is what inspired me. Frankenstein. Yes! It's alive! So, I need you to hold up some spark plugs. Hold them up, put them together, zap them. See the sparks? Oh! Look at that. Yeah! And then, I need a volunteer to come up and do my Functionometer for like about 5 seconds. Since you're in front, come on. Quickly. Alright, I'm going to slip this over your head. Alright, you can hold it up. Turn. Oh, it's a Functionometer, but she's not working. Close your eyes. She's not working. Alright, we're going to zap her. And then she's going to come to life. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. She's alive! Okay, you can take this off. Now that we have this working, we're going to use this throughout our lesson, but it's still working even though it doesn't look like it. Alright, thank you for being so awesome. Definitions. Go ahead, on your sheet it says terms. We're going to go over our definitions quickly. A function is one output assigned to exactly one input or one y value for every x value. So, what that means is if I put a number into an equation, I'm only going to get one answer. Otherwise, it's not a function. So can someone read the parts when I snap my finger? I'm going to snap my finger and then you read what word is next. Can someone do that for me? And then I'm going to have JC on. One output assigned to exactly one input or one y value for every x. Nice. Now the whole class. Read the blanks with me. Ready? One output assigned to exactly one input or one y value for every x value. All right. Now, so we kind of have to define input. I kind of gave you clues in here, but what do you think an input is? If I would have an equation, what would the input be? Let's say I have 1 plus x equals y. What would my input be? If I'm going to put a number in, where would I put that input? JCM.
On x.
In for the x, exactly. So it's whatever I'm putting into my equation, then I'm going to get my output. Yep, so whatever y equals is my output. So how we're going to do this is, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I was going to surprise you with a test today, but I told you yesterday right before you left. And you're like, oh, I need to cram for this test. She didn't even warn us, so, well, I guess I'm going to spend like 5 minutes studying for this test. So I'm not putting in very much effort. So that's my input, is my amount of effort. So for that one, I didn't put very much effort in, so my output is probably going to be, my output would be how I do on the test. What do you think? Would I do really well if I didn't put in much effort?
No.
No, I wouldn't. So let's say I spent all night studying. What would my output be on that test? Yeah. Most likely an A, or I did really well. Awesome. So now let's put this in the numbers. Oh wait, what is the function again? What is the function? Drew.
One output assigned to exactly one input
are we going to determine if this is right? So there are two ways that we can write the ordered pairs to tell if they are part of a function. Jimmy, you have a question? Oh, I am going to ask. There are two ways we can write the ordered pairs to tell if they're a function. We can write them as ordered pairs. Hopefully you've seen that before. Or you can write them in a table. Either way, these mean the same thing. So 1, 2 is x, y. So if we were to do a practice problem with our functionometer, I'm going to set this right here. Let's try a practice problem. First, x plus y equals 1. Let's begin with the practice problem that's on your sheet, and then we'll move up to a little harder one. X plus 1 equals y. So if I have the ordered pairs 1, comma 2, I already put in the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Go ahead and try putting in the other numbers. So 2, 3, and 4 in for x. Those are my inputs. Calculate the outputs. Sweet! So far, everybody's got it. That's because I gave you a super easy problem. So, we're going to try a harder problem. Here's a problem. Can you read the problem? It's 5x minus 3 equals y. 5x minus 3 equals y. If you want to jot it down on your paper. 5x minus 3 equals y. Got it? All right. So that's the equation I put into our functionometer. So let's go ahead and enter 1 into that equation. Go ahead and enter 1 for x. Sorry. Enter 1 in for your input. How are you going to solve that equation? 5x minus 3 equals y. Question? Nope. You have an answer already? Sweet. All right. What did you get? Here, Nisha. 2. Did everyone else get 2? Raise your hand if you got 2. Almost everyone. Sweet. This is right. The answer that she got was 2. So we put it in. It was 2. Let's try doing 2. What would you get if you entered 2 in as your input? You already have it, Marquise? Awesome. I'll wait for a couple more people to get it. You have 2 already? 2. Marquise, what did you get?
7.
7? Is it 7, Jimmy? 7 is correct. We put it into our machine. Awesome. So let's try 2 more. 3. 3 people have it already. What? 3. Chris, you got 3? What is it? Is it 12?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, 1 more. Let's put in 1 again. If we put in 1 again, what should it be? Did you know? 2. Is it 2, Drew?
No.
No! Oh, do you know what that tells us? This is not a function. Remember, 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y. You cannot have 2 y's for 1x. If I had 1 in 2 and 4 equaled 1, that's not a function. So that's what that told me then. Next, we are going to play The Price is Right in function form. So the function is right. Here's how it's going to work. You, the contestants, get to nominate someone to come up to the front and pick a door. You can't nominate yourself, but you can nominate someone else. But you also are going to be able to help the person you nominate. So by the amount of clapping that you give them. So if you give them a lot of clapping, I'm going to say that you agree with them. But if you don't really clap for them, then you don't agree with them. So does anyone nominate someone? It's a compliment if you nominate someone. Marquise, you nominate someone? No? Put your hand like that. All right. Drew, who do you nominate?
Michael.
Michael. Okay, come on up, Michael. Do you have a door in mind? A lucky number, 1, 2, or 3? Number 2. Going to door number 2. Ooh, backwards, door number 2. All right. You have a spot to enter this information on your sheet 2 in the door number 2 box. And Michael can come up to the board. What number for A would make the ordered pairs a function? Remember, 1x for every y. You cannot double up on your x's. Go ahead and underline all your x's, Michael, in the ordered pairs. One. There's 4. 2, 3, and A I also consider an x. So if I look at those and compare them to my answers, which one wouldn't I have doubled up on? Who sees it? Raise your hand. Who sees which one I didn't double up on, comparing them to my answers? I have a couple. Do you know? He says the answer is 3. Let's give him a round of applause if you think that's right. Okay, cut. That wasn't very loud. Can you explain why you got 3?
There wasn't any other threes in the sections.
Yes, there was no other 3s in his x's. So he had a 9 for A, there was a 5 for B, there was a 4 for D, but he said C because there's no 3. So he's correct. Give him a round of applause. Thank you, Michael. All right, going back. I need another nomination. Melody. Daranisha. Come on up, Daranisha. You can do it, girl. I know you can. We have 1 and 3 left. Do you have a preference? 1. Awesome. 1. Which relation is a function? Is a function means what? There are no 2 x's that are the same. Exactly. So go ahead. Everyone else should be jotting some answers down so I can check them. She says, number 1, round of applause if you think it's right. That is correct. Give her another round of applause if she goes back. All right, 1 door left. We have another nomination. Who do you nominate? Who? Jimmy! Woo! Come on up, Jimmy. I think the music for the show actually goes like da-da-da-da. I don't really know. Okay, door number 3. Are these, coordinates a part of a function? Jimmy, what do you think? He says yes! Round of applause if you think he's right! An exit ticket that just tells you, or lets me see how enthusiastic you thought it was and also what you learned during the lesson. There are 5 questions, and then if you flip it over, that's where you get to tell me how you thought, if you liked that way, or not. You'll have exactly 7 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, actually let me explain. If you flip your sheet over quick and look at the rating, 1 is the lowest. It kind of explains what that would look like. You don't have to read all of them because that's a lot of words, but if you're kind of confused on what something is, then you can read them. But 7 is like really awesome, and then 1 is like, that was really boring, so that's that. Okay, you can go ahead and work on your exit ticket first. circle the number.